Brothers will come to order. Brother McCreary, is the door guarded?
It is, Brother Nahum.
Brother McCreary, you will stand on guard.
Hail, Sinfonia, come brothers, hail, may find you hellfire reign. Hearts, hands, and mighty pledge to thee. All hail, all hail, all hail, Sinfonia.
Let us be reminded once more of the noble object of this fraternity.
The object of this fraternity
shall be for the development of the best and truest fraternal spirit,
the mutual welfare and brotherhood of musical students,
the advancement of music in America,
and a loyalty to the alma mater.
Brothers, it is good to be together again for fraternal progress. May our fraternity be nearer and dearer to us tonight than ever before. In our deliberations, may we be guided by charity and wisdom. Let not the fire of your tongue burn the flesh of your brother, but may you be animated by pure and lofty motives, and your speech be inspired to the understanding of all brothers, and for the glory of Sinfonia. Let what we do tonight be done for our mutual progress and common brotherhood.
So let it be for Sinfonia.
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 Welcome. My name is Kyle C. Coleman, and I am a spring 1998 initiate of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia through the Zeta Iota chapter at Howard University. The Sinfonia fraternity was established on October 6, 1898 at the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. We are the oldest and largest music fraternity in the country. Phi Mu Alpha is split geographically into regions known as provinces. Each province is then appointed an alumni brother to serve as the administrator to the brothers, chapters, and alumni within its borders. Province 30 is defined as the entirety of the state of South Carolina, along with a portion of Georgia. Province 30 consists of 6 undergraduate chapters: the Gamma Eta chapter at Furman University, Delta Sigma chapter at the University of South Carolina, Nu Iota at South Carolina State University, Nu Kappa at Winthrop University, Xi Beta chapter at Benedict College, and Sigma Mu at Clemson University. We also host the Midlands Area Alumni Association. It's the responsibility of each governor to organize an annual province workshop. Each workshop not only requires Province 30 brothers to elect undergraduate province officers for the subsequent year, but also provides opportunities for brothers and chapters to reconnect, share ideas and experiences, and fellowship in the spirit of our mutual love for the art of music. Our tradition in Province 30 has been for each of the 6 chapters to host a multi-day workshop on their respective campuses in any given year. As with so many things over the course of the last year, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to respond and adjust in new and imaginative ways. As such, we are hosting the first ever virtual Province 30 workshop. Our theme this year is Upward. We are conscious of the challenges, loss, and circumstances of 2020. However, we are determined to make this brand new year one of joy, accomplishment, success, and renewed vigor. In short, our vision, our mandate, our very spirit shall move on and ever upward. On behalf of myself and the Province 30 leadership team, Deputy Province Governor Montez Aiken, Collegiate Province Representative Chris Nahum, Assistant Collegiate Province Representative Mac McCary, Province Alumni Coordinator Zachary Arms, and Province Music Director Joshua Wall, welcome to the 2021 Province 30 Workshop. We are very happy for your presence and participation. Thank you and enjoy.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dylan McCormick. I'm the president of Phi Mu Alpha at Gamma Eta, and giving you my chapter report for Furman University. So currently, Furman is on lockdown, so I'm coming at you from the hottest place on campus, which is my apartment. There's a couple updates at Furman. They tore down the mall, so the campus is pretty ugly right now. We're in-person classes, but we have low to no contact guidelines, so we're all basically sitting at home doing class online until we get the okay to go back in person. And currently everybody is getting tested for COVID every week, so we're living it up here. For our Phi Mu Alpha chapter, we had 10 PMs crossed last semester. We finished our process from last spring. We ended up having 4 rush events, 2 online game nights, and 2 game nights outside. Currently we have 5 probationary members waiting to do their pinning ceremony once we can go to in-person meetings. So our goals for this semester are we're going to have some safe process events. Hopefully we're able to do most of our stuff as normal, but we know we're going to have limited participation or limited contact at those events. So we're hoping that we can do something pretty fun. We're going to initiate 5 PMs, hopefully, and 2 honorary members. And we've started actually throwing around ideas for small ensemble groups, chamber groups within our fraternity, instrumental groups. We just want to make as much music as we can safely on campus. And so currently we have 3 brothers student teaching in the surrounding Greenville area. And then we have 4 brothers applying to various grad schools around the country. And then I had one brother who wanted a little bit of a spotlight here. So CJ Waldrop actually crossed last fall, and he did some cool things over the break. He donated, I don't know how much hair, but a lot of hair to Locks of Love. He got a job as a bike tech at US Whitewater in North Carolina. He is a sophomore trumpet/vocalist, and he's actually does a really cool job here on campus. He runs the bell tower, so he plays all the cool tunes that we get to hear all day. And he's actually super involved on campus. He's an RA, and he's doing all kinds of other stuff, which I know he starts groups and does basically everything. So yeah, that's about what's going on at Furman University. We're pretty excited to be back in person and stoked to be at this Province event. And I hope everybody's having a great time.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Mike Malley, and I am currently going into my 2nd semester serving as the president of the Delta Sigma chapter at the University of South Carolina. And I'd just like to update you on how the last year has been and what we've been able to accomplish throughout COVID and everything. And it's been kind of a crazy semester, challenging, but definitely we were able to be productive still. So just to give you some perspective, the university, we went on spring break last March, and they originally extended it because everyone wasn't really sure what was going on. And it ended up being that the semester would be completed completely virtually after spring break. So that really shut down everything that we had planned for our probationary class and just as a chapter last spring. So all of our probationary members had completed the national exam, and we were about to get into color nights, and obviously our initiation ritual was coming up shortly after that. So we really had to put everything on hold. And so coming back in the fall, we really had to figure out how to operate as a chapter. and also how to finish up our probationary member class. So for the first part of that, what we were able to accomplish right off the bat was becoming an official student organization, which we hadn't been for a few years, just because no one had really taken the time to update our bylaws and also renew just our affiliation with the university. So I want to give a shout out to Charles Fletcher, who really just combed through the bylaws, put in everything that our university required of us. And then I really just had to submit a couple more forms, and now we are officially a student organization once again, which is very good. We have a good relationship with the student organization services, and we can do like virtual events through the university, which is very nice. For the second part of that, like I said, the probationary members were left off right after the national exam, so we had to figure out how to complete color nights completely virtually. And I want to give out a big shout out to our warden at the time, Patrick Mackey. He was really on the ball with just figuring out what the best way to have the same impact throughout all our color nights, and really just make that happen, organize everything, tell everyone what they needed to do to be prepared to get that done. And so he did a really good job. Also, big shout out to Chris Geiger, who was our FEO at the time. Just continuing the virtual meetings with the probationary members, keeping up their education, and also just keeping them engaged with the rest of their process. We unfortunately ended up losing a couple of probationary members for various reasons. And we ended up having a class of 5, which we were able to initiate over the course of last semester. I'm really just proud of how, especially the probationary members, handled everything, because it was really unexpected. Obviously, no one really knew what was going on, but they were very, very flexible. And the whole chapter really was really flexible and committed to getting those guys in. And it was just really good to see everyone come together and give their best in a semester that was really unprecedented, and like nothing we'd ever had to handle before. A couple other things that happened: we had 2 socials virtually with other musical Greeks. We had like a video night and then just like a hangout night with our university's chapter of SAI. We also had one musicale with a combination of all other musical Greeks, in which people could submit videos of them playing, and we all just came together and watched them on a Zoom call. So it was good to see everyone be flexible and really just working together with the other musical Greeks who were facing the same challenges that we were. So we really made the best out of that. A couple other things: we had our first online elections. And so our chapter really tested our patience there. It was too long, almost 2-hour Zoom calls back-to-back weeks. But it definitely challenged us. If you're in Delta Sigma, you know how those went. But I was really proud in the end. I think it worked out. And we'll just have that under our belt going forward. And also, we had our first virtual graduating brothers ceremony for 2 of our seniors who graduated in the winter. So it was good to see everyone give their appreciation to them. And we completed that virtually, which was very nice. And I think it still had a lot of the same effects that it should. Looking forward, so we had a first chapter last week. We were transitioning all of our materials and our communications to Discord. So we met via Discord, which we had been meeting on Zoom last semester. So I think it's good for efficiency purposes to have all of our communications and our chapters in one place, but we're still figuring out how to make that as efficient as possible so that there's really no hiccups there. Overall, I think we're more confident handling things virtually, just because we've gone through everything virtually, and now we know what worked, what didn't work. We can make the improvements that we need to make. And also this semester, there's a lot more hope of having things in person eventually at some point, hopefully. All things considered, if things are going well at the university, case-wise, we should be able to have a few more in-person events this semester, which would be nice. We will be taking a line in a couple weeks. We have all of our rush events planned out, and I'm really excited to get some new guys ready to go. Also, we're going to hopefully add another faculty advisor who came to our ritual last fall, and he really blew everyone away with his singing. He was just belting it out at the top, right next to everyone, and not too many people were familiar with him. So it was really cool to have him come in here and kind of show us all up with his singing. So hopefully he seemed excited to be doing that. So we'll be happy to have him coming in. Really, just all things considered, I'm happy with everyone's attitude, how everyone handled everything last semester, and really just the positive outlook that everyone has going into this next semester. Despite everything that's going on, I think things are going well at Delta Sigma, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. That's all I have to say.
In the spirit of our virtual workshop, the Province 30 Council has decided to take a different approach to our nominations for the offices of CPR and ACPR. The following speeches are submissions from brothers who have been nominated for either position. The floor for nominations will be reopened on Sunday during our virtual business meeting through Zoom. The floor is now open for the nominations of Collegiate Province Representative and Assistant Collegiate Province Representative.
Hello, my name is Aaron Milner, and I am a brother of the New Kappa chapter at Winthrop University. I have served a term as president and ARO of my chapter. In both leadership positions, I have spent my time communicating with my brothers and using my leadership roles to invigorate our chapter and to find new ways that we can grow over the course of time, not just in my terms. Especially in the ARO position, I spent that time invigorating that position and seeing how we can use that to better ourselves as a chapter and reach more alumni in and outside of the areas of Rock Hill or surrounding areas. As president, I spent a lot of time just working with the chapter. How do we build morale in this chapter? How do we move forward? And how do we make a better chapter for the future? I believe that all these leadership positions that I have had in my chapter and all the times I've spent using to communicate with my brothers to enrich them and to enrich everyone, I think these qualities that I have would be great for either the CPR or ACPR positions in the province. I look forward to hopefully working with y'all on working with province and how that we can benefit the entire province of South Carolina. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sky Powell. I am a senior music education major at the New Kappa chapter of Phi Mu Alpha, and I'm running for the positions of ACPR and CPR. Some officer positions that I've held within my chapter are vice president and president. I've also held executive member positions with our IFC council at Winthrop as the VP of Greek Relations for 2 years. Over my 4 years of being involved in the fraternity, I've been able to develop a lot of different skills. The two most important ones that I feel are my people skills and my problem solving skills. Being involved with the fraternity for 4 years since freshman year, I've been able to see my personal chapter develop and grow as well as the province as a whole. I've developed those same skills of being involved with our IFC council, and because of that, my personal chapter has developed great relations with the other fraternities on campus, as well as the Winthrop office and the Winthrop community. I believe that our province council has a great foundation and has done great things throughout the years, and especially this past year and a half, it's had to jump through a lot of hurdles and overcome a lot of obstacles, and it's difficult for collegiate members to keep that same fire going that they had before this year and a half. But it's difficult, and I believe that becoming a member of the council, I can bring great things and bring a lot more representation of these individual chapters to the table. It's really hard to be motivated during these times, but one thing that I've been able to see within myself is that motivation is the driving force of the chapter. So therefore, the motivation is the driving force of the province. I have big ideas, great ideas to help motivate each other and stay connected throughout everything. College is hard by itself, and it's even harder when there's another thing lying on top of it. I've gotten to know many of my brothers within my own chapter on a personal level, and which I believe was very beneficial to help drive our chapter in the direction that it needs. I believe that I could do the same with the province. Thank you again for this opportunity. I'd love to stay connected with not only the fraternity as a whole after graduation, but with our province individually.
Hey. Here we go. I am lost in translation. I just don't know what to say. I go breathless waiting on you, but you don't even know my name. If I had one chance to tell you how I feel one glance, I would you correctly, and I would say, I would say, turn up, baby! Turn up!
Hello, and welcome again to the 2021 Virtual Province 30 Workshop. I would like to start by saying thank you to all the collegiate and alumni brothers around the province that made this event possible. I also would like to say a special thanks to our Province Alumni Coordinator, Zach Arms, for making this event happen and for keeping Province 30 moving upward. Speaking of moving upward, my wife and I actually moved down to the lower part of the state in Charleston. I'm currently teaching music in Berkeley County School District and enjoying my beautiful commute every day from Johns Island. We are also expecting our first child in March, and yes, he is a future symphonian, Sullivan Everett Wald. With all of the limitations we've had in our lives during this tumultuous year, I've loved seeing you guys rise above, show why you are truly musicianly men. I have seen virtual recitals, brothers putting together their own multi-track ensembles, and even virtual Mills music missions. I am so proud of your resilience to keep music alive on our campuses and in each of our communities. I encourage you to continue this necessary work. The world needs our song now more than ever. If you would like to start a project within your chapter but don't know where to begin, reach out, let me know, so we can take your ideas and make them tangible. Once we make it out of this pandemic, we'll have a lot of ground to cover to make up for this virtual time. I hope that means we can get back to our Men of Song, our in-person triumphs, and especially come together again to socialize as a brotherhood very, very soon.
Brothers, he has not truly lived who has not lived for others, in sympathy and in harmony with his fellows. Percy Jewett Burrell. I hope everyone is doing well. While it may be virtual, I am so very thankful we can collaborate harmoniously together to put on a workshop in these difficult times. Reflecting upon my time in Province 30, I want to thank every single brother in this province, past and present, for the countless memories and brotherhood they've displayed over the past 4 years of my life. Some of my fondest memories as a Symphonian consist of simply visiting a campus for the weekend and meeting new brothers. I encourage you to get involved as much as possible throughout this weekend and to connect with fellow brothers across this province. It has always been a pleasure to come together, especially in trying times like these, and to sing as one, to raise the song no matter the circumstances of the outside world. The most important thing we can do as brothers over this new year is to lean on each other. It is no secret that we've had issues at a national level for a considerable amount of time. It is no secret that dissonance exists at levels we cannot control as collegiate brothers. Something I implore all of you to remember is why you came to this organization and what you can continue to do as a brother of Phi Mu Alpha. We are called to be solvers of discord, priests of melody. Continue to lift up your brothers to where they may reach the sublime heights of their art, as it is needed now more than ever. Encourage the advancement of music in America, on the streets and at your alma mater. Most importantly, live your object. We will all be better men for it. I look forward to seeing the continuous growth among the men of the highest type in the state of South Carolina. All hail Sinfonia.
Good evening, brothers of Province 30. I consider it a privilege to be with you for another workshop, and I would like to thank the esteemed Brother Coleman and the rest of your leadership team for inviting me to take part in the events this weekend. I've been asked to speak to you for a few moments on the topic of resiliency, a word that I don't think I've ever really put a lot of thought into until preparing for this presentation. According to Google, resiliency is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. Google also references psychological resilience, which is defined as the ability to mentally or emotionally cope with a crisis or to return to pre-crisis status quickly. Resilience exists when the person uses mental processes and behaviors in promoting personal assets and protecting self from the potential negative effects of stressors. Now, I mentioned earlier that I hadn't put a lot of thought into this word until I started working on this talk, but it made me realize that it's a word that is applied to almost all of us, myself included, over the last year and a half. Think back to March, when COVID had grown to the point to where schools had to close across the country. Teachers and administrators were given a week, maybe two, to completely transition their curriculum to an online platform. Restaurants and other business owners had to quickly make adjustments. Parents had to change everything about their routines. We thought these changes would be short-term. It wasn't. My school district has yet to return middle and high school students back to school, meaning my band students haven't played their instruments since March 13th. It's tough. Now, I learned a few years ago that you can only control the things you have control of. I have no control over whether or not kids come back to school, but I do have control over how I choose to use the 60 minutes that I see them every day online. So it's my responsibility to do everything I can as a teacher to ensure that they still receive a well-rounded music education. In this moment, with these circumstances, that's my responsibility to those students. While no, I'm not doing what I want to be doing, I sleep well each night knowing that I'm doing everything I can to ensure their success. Now, many of you know that we've also been facing a second emergency as Sinfonians. On June 27, 2019, a national emergency was declared by Mark Littenberg as he took the unprecedented, I know we're tired of hearing that word, but as he took the unprecedented step of removing approximately 18 governors and deputies from their respective positions. I was one of them. And I won't even lie, it hurt. It was a surprise, a move I never saw coming. Brothers from Province 20 called and messaged me all day. Brother Coleman called, other people from outside the province called. Nobody knew what was happening, myself included. I got the email the same time or after the chapters did. After the immediate reaction of shock and confusion, I transitioned very quickly to anger as I began communicating with our leadership team on what was happening. In that moment, I was very lucky at the time to have Brother Logan John, who I'm sure many of you know, who was in his last few months of his CPR term. As upset as I was, there were times where I felt like he was more upset than me. A lot transpired over the coming weeks as our chapters began preparing to return to school and we were transitioning to a new CPR team. One thing was for certain, we could not and would not leave our chapters hanging with no leadership. For years, we've all heard people say that a title is just that, a title. I can't lie. For a while, I struggled with that just a little bit. Came back though. I couldn't go and speak with campus reps on behalf of the chapters when they needed help. I couldn't sign the very important documents that one of my chapters needs signed annually just to have their PM process each spring. I couldn't go in and sign a chapter report in place of an advisor that might have been away from campus and unable to log in. I started to fall back For the first time in a number of years, I felt like I didn't have a pulse on the province. The brothers brought me back though. Chapters still called with their questions, concerns. They called seeking advisement. They still referred to me as their PG. Our leadership team didn't block me out. Alumni showered me with their support. It was that reminded me that the title was just that, title. It made me feel like I'd done something right. And it re-sparked my flame that had gotten very, very dim. Then COVID hit, right? Chapters across the country unable to finish PM classes, sent home to finish the semester online. Fall 20 arrives, completely different than college as we know. And now, as the spring 21 semester begins, we are still experiencing those hardships. Our mental well-being has been challenged. We had our workshop a couple weekends ago, virtually through Zoom. Never expected to get the attendance that we did. It was fantastic. But what it showed me was that just seeing each other's faces was something that many brothers needed. It showed me that continuing to serve and not adhering to the ridiculous prohibition of our workshop, continuing to hold that event was necessary. Our brothers needed it. Some of my ex-governors have chosen to comply with that prohibition, and that's okay. But this is where we circle back to the idea that the title is just that, a title. And so we might not be able to have a recognized workshop, but nobody can keep brothers from gathering. Not COVID-19 with the age of technology, and certainly not Mark Lichtenberg. I've been asked a couple times how I can continue moving forward, given how I've been treated. That's not necessarily easy to do, for sure, but the answer is actually quite simple. Every decision I ever made as a governor was based on whether or not it would be a benefit to our guys. It was never about the title to begin with. I lost that for a split second. And I wouldn't let not having it now keep me from serving them. It wasn't about that to begin with. I had to be remembered of that. Why would I let it? I still have the same knowledge, same skill set that I had when I had the title. Not being the PG didn't somehow cause me to forget when chapter reports were due. I didn't all of a sudden forget the voting rules. Didn't all of a sudden forget how to answer the phone. Didn't cause my phone to stop working or my email to stop working. At a time when brothers are facing uncertainty to the extent that we are now, it would be a mistake to turn away and say, well, I'm not the PG, I can't help. How brotherly would that be? How can I continue to move forward working for this organization? Quite simply put, I have to. The guys deserve it. They need it. How does my relationship with the word resiliency impact you, the brothers of Province 30? You and your brothers have and continue to face what seems to be an increasing amount of uncertainty. You've had to reimagine your PM programs to fit whatever regulations your campuses have put in place. Your personal lives have more than likely been impacted in more ways than one. Symphonians tend to be very affectionate. Not being able to physically hug and embrace my brothers during our virtual workshop was difficult. Not being able to stand shoulder to shoulder and sing or lock arm in arm. The safety requirements that are put in place to conduct the ritual, if you're allowed to do that, if you're allowed to meet. This space, our meeting room, is where we find support that hasn't quite been the same right now. I've even had guys question what the purpose of even continuing on in Sinfonia is. This is not the time to abandon each other. The mantra of Province 30 has been that we are Sinfonians, no apologies. I will ask Governor Coleman to forgive me for this, but I like to amend that motto to say, we are Sinfonians, no apologies and no excuses. We will do whatever we have to take care of each other. We need to figure out how we can support one another even more. We need to learn about those mental health signs and reach out when we feel our brothers are not okay. This is where we have to reimagine how we do our business and conduct our events. This is where we fall back on the ideals we were taught from the themes book and our PM programs. This is where we show our resilience, show we can and will make it through this because we have each other. On and ever up, forward, never backward. Onward ever, all together. Onward ever, strive forever. Thank you again to Governor Coleman and the Province 30 leadership team for inviting me to share some time with you this weekend, and I wish you the very best on the rest of your workshop. Thank you, and all hail Sinfonia.
Satis respondale, Ioannis, ple, Dominus, Dominus, in Dominis. Ioannes cebe, Dicomatum preteribus Dominatum, Dominus Sanctus, Sanctus, Maria Pater, Anno Domini, millesimo quinquagesimo sexto. In parrochia dedis, non eresibi silinis, in magnificat virgin signis, tu rex corde et bilinguis, semiotus Dominus, Iesus Femine, evidentis rectus. Sepultus ex mondo vis, God, forgive him his misdeeds. Carmina cum canis, cantemus Caesar Ioannis, cled Domini terre, cemer nomen predicere, Christ populo natus lecteribus est vocatus. Nunc consistere solitus tua crimina fere, qui male lingua locat, locat, vere, tores, tales, prestis, domine, tales, apeti, tales, arus, mares, tales, sentives, socios, asinus, vulgus, cellus, et vos. Qui pedis, ixit quis, John Jenner, Nicola Dedis, qui, non vix terrasis, vegeton corbutia, vis, lis, iam jacet, hic, stare. Never to then is head. Adieu, Jenner, adieu.
Brothers, we thank you for joining us for this first night and hope you have enjoyed the brotherhood and music. But tonight isn't over. While the province leadership team wishes we could all meet in person for fellowship, we think we have the next best thing prepared. The leadership team of Province 30 is proud to announce the launch of the Province 30 server on the popular gaming and collaboration app Discord. We hope that this can be used as a tool for fellowship and camaraderie and will allow brothers from all over the state of South Carolina and beyond to meet and hang out with other brothers. We invite you to join us now for a virtual happy hour that will feature numerous different games and social opportunities. The link for the Discord is now on the Province 30 Facebook page and in the comments below. There being no further business tonight, I now call this meeting of the 2021 Province 30 Workshop recessed until tomorrow night at 7 p.m.